When Viviva contacted me and asked me if I would like one of their Meditate with Art kits, which they were very kindly sending me, I was intrigued to know what was going to be in it. And now it's here. When we're going to take a look. So this launches on the 10th of September. I'm doing this video ahead of time, but I won't be uploading it until the 10th. So by the time you see this, these will be on the market, but they're not at the moment. So it's a Meditate with Art. So I had absolutely no idea how they were going to combine the art and the therapeutics and what was going to be in this kit. As some of you who are regular to my channel know, I've already used a lot of Viviva products and I really like them. This is not sponsored at all, so this is a completely unbiased review from myself. They kindly sent me it for free, but it's not sponsored, so I can take it, you know, completely at face value and let you know what I think. So the first thing about this is, well, with all Viviva products, they've got these really jolly bright colours, and it makes, you know, it's fun to begin with. Everything, such a fun illustration on the front there, lovely flowers, all really pretty. So that's pretty typical of Viviva's products, to be nice and bright. So if we look at the back, it's going to tell us what's in here. So it says 25 multisensory art therapy sessions for deep relaxation. So engaging the senses, it's portable, and I talked about the travel set. I will link that video up here if you didn't see that, because they have something similar in a travel set which I really enjoyed using. I took that out and about on the fell. So this is something else that looks quite portable. In fact, this is smaller than the travel set. So let's read this out. Meditate with Art is designed to give you deep soulful relaxation amidst our always on, often stressful modern lives. And this is something I've been talking about recently in a lot of my videos. The importance of art really for therapy. So each session is 15 to 20 minutes guided art therapy. No special art skills needed, anyone can do it. And again, that's something I often say, is we can all paint, we just need to give it a try. Okay, and then it's telling us what's in there, but we'll just open it up and have a look. So the other thing about Viviva is, I might have to just switch the camera off while I try and get this out. So it's in a cardboard sleeve. Oops, there we go, it's come out now. So the other thing about them is they use sustainable materials. So this is cork, which is rather nice because it's very tactile. Yeah, so it reminds me of the 70s. There was a lot of cork things around in the 70s, wasn't there? So yeah, a really handy size. You can see compared to my hands how big that is. So, you know, you could pop that in your bag if you're going off for the day. So really portable. And like the travel set, it's got that there. It's a very similar style to the travel set, and then it's got Viviva written on there. So we open it up and we'll see what we've got. So in here, we've got the welcome note. I'm not sure why it says open here, because that's the closed end, so that's a bit bizarre, but anyway, and it says again there, open here, and that's the closed end, so I'm not sure if that's what that's all about. So it tells us what it's got here. So one original colour sheet with 16 colours. So let's have a look at that. So here's the colour sheet. I'll just put those to one side, and this is very similar to the colours that I had in some of the earlier sets. So look at that, beautiful bright, all these, well, you can look at the swatches there, you can see the variety of nice bright colours that we've got. Oh, that looks good. Peacock blue, slate black, magenta. As I said in some of the previous videos, with these colours, they look very different on here than they do on your paper, so you need to give them a try. Oh, look at that nice bright yellow there. Okay, so pop that there. So that's your paints. So you've got those. 5 fragrance sticks. Now I know where these are before I take them out, because they really are very fragrant. Again, this is reminding me of the 70s. They're not joss sticks. They're not. We used to burn them, didn't we? All these wonderful smells. But that's the smell that you get from these. But these are not to burn, so you don't use the fragranced already, and you just pop them on the side. They're quite heady, they're quite strong, so that might be an acquired taste. I don't mind them, I quite like the smell, but I probably like it if it was 6 foot further away, to be totally honest with you. So I'll just pop them to the side. So one activity book with 20 sketches and 5 reverse colouring artwork. So your 20 sketches are, I think, mostly flowers. Oh, mushrooms there, So these are to colour in. So a bit like your adult colouring books, all really jolly. That's got a little message there, love yourself. Really jolly, fresh little illustrations with lots of fun in them. It's a bit like Nemo there, those fish. And then at the back we've got, I think these are what they're calling the reverse colouring artwork, and I have absolutely no idea what they mean by that. Maybe they'll explain that in the videos, I'm not sure. So there we go. So those, again, very, very pretty. So that just slots into there. I don't know if you can see the back page of that slots in. So then when you run out, you could put another book in there, as long as it's the same size. 5 daily reminder stickers. So that's these. Let's just take a quick look at these. Put them here, you can see them better. So we've got Flourish with Nature. Okay, nice, pretty, fresh colours there. Rest, Rejuvenate and Rise with a fox. Build Your Happy Place with a little barn there. Persist, Progress and Prevail. Again, that reminds me of Nemo, because I think of Dory with a Just Keep Swimming message. Savour life's little joys, and a nice big slice of cake there. So you could put these stickers wherever you like. They're supposed to be inspirational quotes for you. So maybe in your sketchbook and your journal, somewhere in the home. But yeah, you can see that where the sticky comes off there, those are just little stickers, and they're actually quite firm. Okay, so I'll pop those to one side. I'm not sure where I'm going to put mine. And let's look at the next thing it says. So, I missed one out. I went from the book to these stickers. So the QR code with 8 guided meditation audios. So you see there's a QR code here, and we've got the same one here. So I did this before I started this video. I scanned this, and it takes you to, I think it's like actually done it on YouTube, but I presume it's a private video, so you can't get to it without this scan. You can't just look it up. And it takes you to several videos. Well, it says here, doesn't it, 8 guided meditation audios. So you've got these 8 videos. The photography on them is absolutely beautiful. It's really crisp, just beautiful, calm scenes, all different. Everyone's different. Trying to think, you know, so you go from woodland to beach or whatever, but very different settings. But the photography is just absolutely gorgeous, the videos themselves. And then they've got music set to them, which is really calming, quiet music, and then a lady talking over the top, talking through the process, and, you know, about relaxing and all that. So really, really nice. I haven't listened to them the whole way through. I've just not had the time, but the first impression of those was, yes, I really like these. So you just scan the code and it takes you off to those videos. And then you obviously sit with your scent and your artwork with you whilst you're watching those videos or listening to them. So a refillable water brush is the next thing on the list, and that's here. So if we have a look, I'll fill this up in a moment, see if it's got a nice tip. Now my only thought with this was, it's going to have to be a good tip on this brush, because we've got some very small areas to get into. So, you know, hopefully that keeps its tip nice. So that's one thing that we need to test. So in a moment, when I've finished going through all this, what we've got, I'm going to pop some water in there and give that a try. So let's go back to the list. So water brush, and then the last thing, it says marker pen for reverse colouring. So we've got a marker pen here. It says graphic liner, waterproof and fade proof. So that's going to be, you're going to be able to use that with your watercolours, with any paints, because it's waterproof and fade proof, and it's a size 10, so it's quite a decent size. So I'm thinking it means you're supposed to draw around these. I don't know, because it says in the thing to use for the reverse colouring, but if anybody knows what they mean by that, put that in the comments below, because I'm a bit flummoxed by that. So again, I'll try that out on some paper in a moment. But yeah, it says waterproof, so we need to check that it is waterproof. So just pop those back in there. So, and it says how to use, and it's set the mood with your fragrance stick. Obviously choose which one you want to colour in, scan the QR code, and then get creative. Pop positivity with your stickers, and then it says at the end, give yourself a high five. So yeah, it's, oh, and then this is quite an important message really. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to use this kit. Let your intuition be your guide. Embrace and the joy of creativity. And again, I've done a few videos on this kind of topic recently about we just need to relax and enjoy our artwork. We don't need to put pressure on ourselves all the time. We should be just enjoying it and not worrying too much about perfection. Just do it for the relaxation, because whilst you're doing this, everything else that might be worrying you, you're not thinking about. Okay, so I'm going to fill that water brush up first. That's my first step, and then we'll see how we go on using that in here. Okay, so I've filled that up. It's just a twist one, so it twists there and then you can fill it up. So you've got plenty of water in there. I have to say though, this isn't as big as the Derwent ones. It doesn't feel as chunky as the Derwent ones, so you're not going to have as much water in there. But yeah, it fills up quite nicely, and like I said, we've got that nice tip on there. So we obviously need to put a little bit of pressure on to begin with to get the water flowing. And because I was taken with this chrome yellow, I thought we'd go with the chrome yellow first and start and fill in some of these flowers. So I mean, and the aim of this was really to see how this tip worked on this brush with all these little delicate drawings. So you're going to need a little bit of patience. And as I said before, when adult colouring books first came out, said before in previous videos, I could never really understand the adult colouring thing, because obviously I like drawing myself and doing my own drawings. But I think as I've got older and I don't know, more things perhaps to worry about, I can really see how this can de-stress you at the end of a day when you've been busy with other things, because you're just concentrating on not going over those lines and on putting these pretty colours in, and at the end of it you've got a really pleasing colourful picture. So you know, completely de-stress. And in fact I did do a video on making your own colouring sheets. So obviously once you've filled all these in, you may want to continue to use your paints and your brush. I don't know if they sell these little books separately, but you could of course make some of your own colouring sheets with some watercolour paper. It doesn't say too much about the paper, but it's nice and thick, and as you can see there, it's gone on really well. So these flowers are different variety, aren't they? So we've got some more of these yellow ones down the bottom. Of course you could just do every flower a different colour or all the same colours. So that's the only, well, one of the artistic choices that we have as we're doing it, is what colours we're going to use. So even though you've got the same little book as me, if you've got this set, your picture here will be totally different because you'll choose different colours to me. So yeah, so the tip here, as you can see, I'm not going over the lines, it's going on nice and neat, and it's a lovely pretty colour, that really, so you can see the difference in the colour between what's on the paper and what's on the sheet there. Last time I used these, I perhaps did say to you, they do really remind me of the Koh-i-Noor, if that's how you pronounce it. They're that inky feeling to them and that dye rather than the watercolour, and they remain really vibrant. I think these would be great for children because they're so portable and they get that immediacy of colour which children like. But yeah, that's really beautiful colour, that yellow. So what I'm going to do is to give this a real test out, I'm going to continue and fill this whole thing in, and then I'll come back to you at the end and have a little bit more of a chat about it. Okay, well that was a little bit of fun, and now I've finished it, I'll talk through what my thoughts were about the brush. So like I said earlier, it has got a good tip and it is easy to get into those edges with that tip if you're very light. So don't press down on your brush, otherwise you're going to go over those lines. Do it very lightly. I have gone over the lines in several places, but that's more to do with my eyes than it is to do with the brush. So it is very easy to go over the lines when you're not just 100% concentrating. You'll see in one or two places I've made a mess. That wasn't quite dry when I put the other colours in, but you'll see where the colours touched and they were both wet, they've merged into each other. They've not made, you know, they blend quite nicely on the paper. So if you wanted to use them to do some blending and to mix your colours on the paper, you can do that. So that's something you might want to do. Even within individual petals, you might want to put two colours in and let them blend together. So the other way it's easy to go over the lines is if you have your paint too wet. So I would recommend, where I had it too wet, it was more difficult to control in this small space. This is a much smaller space than I'm used to working in. I like to work big to give myself room to move. So when you're working in a small space like this, it's easier just to use them fairly neat like that, rather than having too much water on your brush. So don't put too much pressure on there. Okay, so you'll see where I went over in a few places and where I made a mess, I tried to lift it off with tissue and a brush in exactly the same way that we would normally do with watercolours. Because these dye the paper, that's not as easy to do. So you can see here I can't get that out, it's not going to lift up. So you need to be extra careful not to go over the lines and make a mess. And where I try to lift it out here, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but the tooth of the paper is starting to lift itself there. So you learn from my mistakes and don't try doing that, because you're going to spoil your paper. So the other thing to say about the colours is, again, I said this before in the previous Viviva videos that I've done, is the colours are just so beautiful. They're bright, fun. You know, I went a bit dark with this one here. That was the vermilion, I think. I put that on too heavy, and you can see these two, so this leaf here and the one here were both done with vermilion, but that one's got less pigment and a bit more water in, and that was a bit thicker. So you can see the difference. You can make different colours and tones using the same colour sheet colour. So yeah, and lots of different greens, lots of different blues. The reds, there's lots of different reds and oranges, but they're a little bit samey. There's two different reds there, and they actually look pretty similar once you get them on. So yeah, I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy having fun with this if you get this set. I'm not sure if it's available yet, so I might not be able to link it down below in the description, but what I'll do is I'll come back to this video later and link it. But I will, if you look down in the description there, I will link some of Viviva's other products. So these colour sheets are so handy to have because they're really clean to use. So you've got a separator between each one. It's like a little piece of greaseproof paper, so even if they're still wet, you can just flip them over like that. And then at the back they've got a mixing palette, so you can mix on there. So if you are out and about, you can mix colours together. So we didn't do that here, I just used the colours neat, but you can mix the colours together to make many more nice bright colours with those pigments, which are rather, when it says be amazed the pigment on these colour sheets is highly saturated, and you know, colours here are different from their actual colour on the palette, so we realise that. So what you might want to do, if you've not used these before particularly, because obviously I've used them before and knew this, that the colours are different, is to make a sheet up. And in fact I did do that with one of the other ones that I had. This was my favourite one, so I'm digressing a bit now, I'm going on to something else, but this was my favourite little set. I've got some mess on there, and it came with this card that you could fill in, so you can see that the colours on there are completely different to the colours here, and I suggest you should do that with these. So get a piece of card or watercolour paper, whatever, and make yourself a sheet up so that you know what they're going to look like when you put them on the paper. So we can put this back in the set once it's dry, and then you've got all those others to do another day. So yeah, it's a lovely little set, nice size, It's a nice size to carry about, very portable. Pop those there. And the only thing we didn't look at really was the pen, so let's just give that a go. Okay, so as I said before, it does say on it that it's waterproof. It's got a nice firm top to it, and it's a size 10, and it looks like it's got quite a round nib there. So let's just have a look at the. Oh, that flows really nicely. It's like it's a ballpoint really. It feels like, oh, that's nice. Yeah, I think I'll be using that a lot. It's see how easy it is to flow that. And this is quite a thick, toothy paper. Yeah, I really like that. That's a real good plus in this set. Yeah, I like that, as you can tell. So what we'll do is I've not left it to dry much at all there, have I? Just 2 seconds. So it may just move, but we'll give it a try. And no, look at that. That's fantastic. So there it's bleeding a little bit. But if you leave that a few seconds to dry, that's going to be fantastic for painting on top of. Great. Yeah, that's a really, really handy pen, that. Nice crisp line and really easy flowing. So really good. Highly recommend. I'm not sure if you can buy that anywhere else or if it's just one that they've got. It says the brand on there is OHTO, so it's nothing I've heard of before, but it's obviously one that they've put in the set, so that's great. Before you put your brush away, you might want to empty the water out. It depends how soon you're going to be using your set again. It's not a bad idea to empty it out because it just got a bit stale. But you want your brush to be clean, so I always just drip. So just press and drip some of that water through and get that brush nice and clean before you pop it away. And then it comes with a nice lid, so it's not going to leak. You can hear how firm that is. It clicks on. It's not going to leak in there if you do leave the water in there. So I can still smell those sticks even though I've moved them. Like I say, that's an acquired taste, but and we're going to have to decide where we're going to put these stickers, but for now I'll pop those back in there. So yeah, a lovely little set, and you can see how it goes into such a small space, and you'll be able to use that. Like I say, once you've filled your book up, you'll be able to buy another book to put in. So that's probably an A5, I would say. In fact, that's one thing we should look at. Let's just take that out again. If we look at this set, and again I will link this in the description below, if I can get it undone. That's A5, sorry, so this is going to be A6, isn't it? So that's an A6 sketch pad, so quite small but really portable. So this one is the A5 that we tried out, and again it's got probably this, I wonder if it's the same. Yeah, it looks like it's the same brush in there. I don't think it was the same pen. No, it's not. It's a different brand. Yeah, that's a different pen to the one we've got. Okay, so I'm waffling on now, so I will go. I just want to end the video by saying, again, this wasn't sponsored at all. Viviva very kindly gifted me this set, but it's not sponsored, so I would like to thank them very much for sending me this gift, because it's lovely, something really nice to have. And thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the description below, and if you've got the set, enjoy using it and have fun with it. And I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye bye for now.